Did you know a simple commercial can launch you straight into Godzilla's world? From a community ad to a global blockbuster. Wild, right? Hey, it's Emma, and I am feeling totally inspired today. High-key buzzing, not gonna lie. So, let's talk. Today we're diving into the extraordinary life of Kaylee Hottle. She was a deaf American actress who played Gia in Godzilla vs. Kong, and then again in Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire. Born in Atlanta, raised in an all-deaf family, fluent in American Sign Language, and yes, she brought the real thing on screen. No gimmicks, no cute background prop, authentic ASL, real culture, real presence. And as a Korean American too, she gave us intersectional representation we just do not see enough in massive franchises. Let me set the scene. Years ago, I'm at this tiny city concert, trying to be low-key cool with a lukewarm seltzer. And this woman next to me starts chatting about podcasts. She turns out to be a talent scout for a small network, which who knew that was a job you could just bump into between songs? She asks if I'd ever talked on mic before. I say, sure, if you count shouting at brunch. Fast forward to my first real taping. I was terrified. My palms were doing the absolute most. I thought I'd mess up every other word, cancel myself by accident, and forget my own name. But the second I stopped trying to sound like some perfect version of a host and just, said what I actually think, it clicked. Being yourself is the whole gig. Everything else is noise. That's why Kaylee's story hits me. She was discovered through a commercial. Convo, by the way, is a video relay service used by deaf people to make phone calls through an interpreter on video. Not a glitzy Hollywood casting room, a community ad. And someone saw her. An assistant director linked to Kong Skull Island clocked her presence and helped connect the dots. That's a kismet moment. She wasn't pretending to be anything. She was already enough, and the world finally looked her way. Okay, let's move on. Basic T first. The Monsterverse is the shared cinematic universe with Godzilla and King Kong stomping their way through our collective stress. In 2021, Kaylee debuts as Gia in Godzilla vs. Kong. Gia is central to the emotional core of the movie, and Kaylee's ASL, which is a full natural language with its own grammar and facial expressions, isn't just a prop, it's how the story breathes. By 2024, she's back in Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire, still holding it down among skyscraper-sized drama. She also popped up on TV in Magnum P.I. in 2021. That's the crime drama reboot. Quick appearance, clear range. From a Convo ad in 2017 at age 9 to global features by her mid-teens, that pipeline is not traditional. It's a flex on what real inclusive scouting can do. Now, the people who moved mountains here. Sarah Halley Finn, who is a major casting director known for finding the right fit across big franchises, specifically sought a deaf actress for Gia. She tapped deaf-connected networks and followed a lead from that assistant director who'd seen Kaylee in the Convo spot. That's receipts on how you do the work instead of faking it. Then you've got Rebecca Hall and Alexander Skarsgård, both co-stars with Kaylee in Godzilla vs. Kong. They learned ASL to talk with her off-camera. For context, actors usually rely on interpreters, which is valid, but learning the language yourself is a big gesture. It says, you matter, and your language belongs here. On set, ASL became daily practice, not just performance. That's how you normalize access. Kaylee's home life mattered too. All-deaf family. 4 generations of deaf relatives on her dad's side. That is deep cultural continuity. And she attended the Texas School for the Deaf in Austin, which is a deaf-centered school where ASL and deaf culture are the default. She ran track there, so the girl had range, on screen and on the field. If I were in her shoes, I'd feel the weight and the thrill of representing both the deaf community and Korean American identity at once. High stakes. Big heart. No faking it. Let's dissect this for a sec. The industry is still very hearing-centric. Sets can be chaotic. Interpreters are essential, but they can't carry every nuance. When your co-stars learn your language, it closes a gap. It says, your experience isn't an add-on, it's core. This wasn't just about one role. It quietly rewrote some on-set norms, and honestly, love that for them. Okay, pause. This next part is heavy. In 2026, there was a single vehicle crash in Ijamsville, Maryland. The vehicle struck a culvert, which is basically a concrete tunnel under the road. Impacts like that can be brutal. There were 3 people in the car. The driver had non-life-threatening injuries. Another passenger walked away, and Kaylee was airlifted by Maryland State Police to the R. Adams Cowley Shock Trauma Center. She died at 18. Her father announced it on Facebook. Police said they believed excessive speed was a factor. Emphasis on believed. We don't have a conclusive, detailed public report beyond that preliminary note. And this is where I get opinionated. We deserve transparent investigations because clarity honors the person and helps prevent future tragedies. I hate when rumor fills the void. It turns grief into clickbait. No thank you. What we do know is that crash outcomes can vary wildly, even inside the same car. It's awful, it's unfair, and it's reality. For me, the takeaway is road safety isn't a scold, it's love language. Slow down, watch the road, no ego behind the wheel. End rant. Let's jump to the legacy. Kaylee reprised Gia in 2024's Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire and got a Saturn Award nomination for Best Performance by a Younger Actor. Quick explainer. The Saturns are the big genre awards from the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, and Horror. That nod told the industry, hey, authentic deaf representation in an effects-heavy franchise isn't a novelty, it's award-worthy craft. On a pop culture level, Gia's presence changed the vibe. ASL on screen wasn't treated as a side quest. It was story oxygen. Fans connected to her calm, grounded energy in the middle of city-smashing chaos. And for deaf and Asian American viewers especially, that visibility hit different. That's not just diversity points. That's canon. That's permanence. Here's the tea, straight up. Kaylee's discovery route blew up the myth that you have to claw through the same old pipelines. She came through a deaf community commercial, not a glossy cattle call. And look at the ripple. Casting directors paying attention to community media, co-stars learning ASL, big studios realizing access isn't extra, it's how you get better performances. That's a culture glow-up. Okay, so what else, you ask? Remember, she wasn't just screen deep. All-deaf family, Korean heritage through her mom, athletics at the Texas School for the Deaf. These aren't trivia bits. They were her toolkit. They gave her confidence, fluency, and that quiet authority you saw every time Gia looked up at a literal titan and didn't blink. Iconic. Before we go further, we need to address the what if that lives in my head rent-free. If that assistant director hadn't seen her in the Convo ad, would Gia have gone to someone else? Would the Monsterverse feel a little thinner emotionally? Maybe. That's why inclusive scouting matters. You don't just fill roles, you change what stories can hold. Okay, we covered a lot. Next time, I'm dying to dig into a rising star in deaf culture who is making waves in music. Different art form, same electricity. Accessibility plus artistry equals bangers. Stay tuned. All right, that's the tea, folks. Your unique voice can take you places, even if the path looks nothing like what you expected. Later!